Hey everybody, I hope you guys are having a great day. I know I have the fan on, it's hot over here. I don't know how you guys are going, but I turned the light off. It was just too hot. I apologize. But I am back today with another Bible study for you, and this is called Refuge and Fortress. And we're back in Psalms. We're doing verse 2, and everything is given from Hebrew, the translations and definitions. And that verse is, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Refuge is makaseh, and that is shelter, and it describes God as a literal hideaway from physical or spiritual storms. Fortress is Matsura, and that is a stronghold or fastness, and it refers to a high, inaccessible stronghold, usually built on a hill or a rock. It signifies a place of defense, military strength, and untouchable security. My God, that is the singular word from Elohim. It is my God is Elohe, and it's frequently used to establish a intimate personal connection with God. Trust is ebtak, and that is security, safety, trust, or confidence, and it comes from batak, and that means to trust, rely on, or feel safe. This represents both the feeling of inner peace and being safe from harm, to completely lean on, be confident in, and rely upon. So in the imagery behind this verse, my refuge represents a place of quiet retreat, comfort, and safety where you can flee during sudden hardships. It highlights God as a gentle shield for the vulnerable. My fortress symbolizes a fortified, unshakable stronghold, often built high on a cliff or a rock. It emphasizes God's active military defense and unyielding strength against spiritual or physical threats. In summation, this verse declares our active trust in God as a personal sanctuary. This verse speaks of refuge and fortress, and we tend to think of it as the same thing. It seems redundant to say both, but I've learned in the Bible that everything is said for a reason. In Hebrew, refuge is makasa, which comes from a Semitic root word kasa, which means shelter, protection, or to go aside. It's the same word that is used for a city of refuge. It's also used for trust, which is different from batak, which means to adhere to or weld to. Kasa is related to the word kavas, which means to show pity or have mercy on someone else. A city of refuge was a divinely appointed town where people who accidentally caused someone's death could flee to escape retaliation from the victim's family. The law of the land was blood for blood. It didn't matter if it was an accident. If you were related to that death, the family could kill you in atonement. Cities of refuge were a place of safety and protection. You could find asylum there. In the Talmud, it outlines procedures for or terms for refuge. When reaching the city, there was a hearing. If ruled accidental, he was granted asylum but had to remain in the city until the high priest passed away. The death of the high priest would atone for the crime. In Hebrews 4:14 through 16, Paul tells us that Jesus is our high priest. Back then, when they heard the word casa, they didn't think of just refuge, but of atonement as well. The author of this verse is saying that the Lord is his atonement and his place of protection. When he says God, he uses Elohim, which is sometimes used for the word judge. God is our supreme judge, and our Messiah died for our sins and atoned for them so that we will trust in our judge to free us from our sin. Going back to the word trust used here is batak, which also means adhere to. In modern Hebrew, it was used for the word glue, but it originally came from the ancient art of welding. Welding has been traced back to the Bronze Age. When you weld two pieces of metal together, the metals mix together. Each piece of metal is joined together. This is a process, what ancients used to describe the idea of trust. When we trust in God, we blend into Him and He into us. And if you ask any welder, the area that is welded is the strongest part. If the metal will break, it will break in spots that were not welded. If there is an area of our life that is not welded to Him or given to God, it will break. We need to trust God with every area of our life and weld ourselves so that when the storms come, we will not break. I love you guys. I hope this blesses you. I will be back again for verse 3. I'm actually working on that right now. Have a great day, you guys.